حلوة يا اسماعيل. ليك نقرب لك شوي إذا بدك اسماعيل ولا تاخذ فيها. أنا بجد؟ عشانك بس احنا نخبط راسك. طيب أنا لايف يا شباب، خليني بس أطلع له بالأيدي. تحياتنا لكم متابعينا من قناة شو الأخبار. معكم حسين هاشم، ونحن في تغطية مباشرة من مدينة ديربورن، وخصوصا من خارج مدرسة سلينا، حيث النائب عبدالله حمود في مجلس النواب في ميشيغن يعلن عن ترشحه لعمدة مدينة ديربورن. قد سبق بعض المرشحين الذين أعلنوا ترشحهم كرئيسة المجلس البلدية سوزان دبيجة، وأيضا حسين بري العضو في المجلس التربوي في مدينة ديربورن. رح ننتقل لننقل حكي عبدالله، وبس يخلص بنرجع نحن نعطيكم كل التفاصيل.
Everyone ready?
We have 30 seconds. That's it.
I know it's cold, it's fast. Anything for you. Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here.
I'm good. You good? Lala, you good? Yep. Everyone else good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good? All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to the community. Thank you to those standing. But primarily thank you to my family, to my wife, Dr. Fatima Beydoun, who's crazy enough to support each and every decision that I make. And to my family, my parents, and my father-in-law is also here as well, who've been there from the very beginning. My family serves as my moral compass, and without them, I really wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be anything. And so my sincerest love and appreciation is to them first and foremost. I wish that this could be, I can actually take this off. I wish this could be in person, but we have to do what is necessary to ensure that everyone is safe. But I think it is appropriate that we kick this off right here at Salina Elementary in the South End, in the heart of Dearborn. Many families can trace their heritage to this part of the city in its earliest days. In my first campaign for the state legislature, it was in the surrounding neighborhoods that I came across an elderly gentleman. And after we exchanged stories about our journeys and love for the city, he told me, don't forget about us. And I made a promise that day that I would never forget. That moment has been with me every day since. Don't forget about us. That one sentence perfectly encapsulates why I serve our Dearborn community in this great city and why I choose to be a public servant. And I think we've delivered on that promise for Dearborn. In the last 12 months alone, we've accomplished so much. We've worked to eliminate out-of-pocket costs for COVID testing and treatment. We've delivered over $200 million in critical resources to small businesses, the lifeblood of our community. We increased access to life-changing mental health treatments and secured funds for new mental health programming. We found ways to save over $100 million in taxpayer dollars by challenging how things had been done at the state. And we stood right here at Salina Elementary in the shadows of the surrounding factories and said, when it comes to environmental justice, we will not compromise. We rallied to stop permits, building power in our community, and we drafted the blueprints for this city on how we could stand up for itself. We proved that when we set our minds to something and work together, we achieve it. We're here again today because I've made one simple commitment. Every policy debate needs to start with the question, how does this impact people? We've all seen over the past year just how much leadership matters. But the daily lives of people are most impacted by their local government. The pandemic disproportionately affected Dearborn. It's had a devastating impact on our neighborhoods and disrupted 2 school years, and we've lost far too many of our loved ones. Witnessing how this pandemic affected our community, our neighbors, our friends, our family, and our frontline heroes, one of which who is standing beside me, my wife, Dr. Fatima Beydoun. It reminded me of how resilient Dearborn is. So the question is, how do we combat this virus, and what do we do after the public health crisis passes? Crisis forces evaluations and reflection on what we've done well, what we can do better, and what we need to do differently. In Dearborn, it's going to take energy, tenacity, and relentless advocacy to get it right. We're going to need to innovate and collaborate. We're going to need to put in the hard work necessary to emerge stronger. So much has changed, and yet so much needs to change. Seeing the work ahead, it's clear to me that the place where I can best serve the people of Dearborn is in a new capacity, where we can make a bigger difference. Today, I am proud to be announcing my candidacy for the mayor of Dearborn. Should I be elected, I will lead with the same tenacity I have led with over the last 4 years as Dearborn State Representative, with the same heart and commitment, and with the community's best interests guiding each and every decision. People and community will come first. For far too long, people have tried to divide us, South, East, and West, Arab, Black, Latino, and white. But although the issues we face may sometimes differ, our values should be one. If there's a child growing up in an environment that is poisoning them, that should matter to us all because that is our child. If there's a small business owner struggling to keep their doors open, that matters to all of us because that's our small business. And if there's a senior that needs a helping hand to stay independent, that matters to us all because that is our parent and grandparent too. Those are our values and they will drive the decisions we make. So let's talk about the actions we need to take. First, we need to lower property taxes. People are struggling enough to make ends meet, and we need to attract new families. So it's time that we put forth a more efficient government. Second, city services need to reflect the quality our residents pay for, from snow plowing and garbage pickup to our libraries and our parks. Third, we need to take steps that enhance the quality of life for all residents. And for me, that always starts with the public's health, physical, mental, and environmental. Access to the best education and support for our seniors. Fourth, we need to develop a public safety model that works better for our residents and our first responders. And finally, we need to provide stronger support to our business community. Small businesses have been devastated by COVID-19. They've had to cut staff and close their doors. These businesses power our economy and are the fabric of our Dearborn community. And we need to empower them to get back on their feet and must do more to ensure that they thrive. That means there's a lot more work with county, state, and federal government to maximize that potential and help businesses that are here to expand and grow. And I've proven the unique ability to work with everyone from city council to Congress on issues that make a direct impact on the quality of life for our residents. I have never stopped working for our Dearborn community. This is my hometown and it is the greatest city that I know. Dearborn is the only place I've ever called home and the place that my wife and I hope to grow our family. But if we want our children to do the same with greater opportunities, we must face the challenges that have come before us for far too long. That starts with working together to make Dearborn the best city it can be. That's what this campaign is committed to doing. Dearborn, we have rallied in the heart of our industrial center against emissions, calling out polluters. We organized with our labor unions against the outsourcing of jobs, demanding quality union work. We all shared in the city's successes, and we were there for one another during its struggles. This community showed me that when you fight for home, you never quit, you never forget, and giving anything less than your best is unacceptable. Dearborn, I am asking for your vote, for it would be the honor of a lifetime to serve as your next mayor. And together, as we've done so many times before, we will stand up side by side, roll up our sleeves, and get to doing the work that makes a difference. Thank you. Take any questions at this time.
I know some of the plants around here have tried to buy a property instead of trying to fix things up around it. What do you say to that?
What I say is I think it's important that we put in proactive measures. It's not enough to purchase properties where residents have lived for decades and try to get them to relocate. We must push forth the factories to implement the cleanest technology possible. That means making sure that we hire our union partners who do the best quality work, who insert carbon removing technology to make sure that we reduce the emissions, reduce the fugitive dust, and improve the air quality in this entire area.
Abdullah, we've heard some of the bold points you mentioned about lowering tax, providing better services. this is like big bold points. Are we gonna see like a detailed plan of how you're gonna be able to lower taxes, how you're gonna be able to achieve each point you said you're gonna achieve?
It's a great question. As this campaign progresses, we are going to launch our plans for each of the points that we announced in our video, and they will be listed on our website, and we'll hopefully speak to them throughout the entirety of this campaign. I think what I'll say is, for far too long, we've heard just talking points and slogans from political candidates to run for office. To run for office in Dearborn, traditionally, it's what 3 words can you put on a billboard or on a lawn sign, and that's what people go for. I think over the last 4 years, we've shown that we've tackled the big issues, and we've provided solutions when no one thought it was possible. It was right here inside of Salina when we stood up against a corporation that wanted to get approval for a permit that would have added over 1,000 new tons of pollution. People thought we were crazy for organizing and mobilizing against it. But after much effort and after standing side by side together, that corporation pulled that permit, and it's happened time and time again. It was right outside the doors of this school that we stood shoulder to shoulder and organized with our union partners when a local factory tried outsourcing jobs to Ohio and Kentucky. And we demanded that they actually hire local employees and that they hire union. And it was shortly after they renegotiated their contract with our labor partners, ensuring that that factory will only be union workers for the next decade. So time and time again, we've risen to the challenge, and we've shown that we can provide solutions to the tough problems that we face.
You know, since you mentioned the problems, there is one problem we're facing is inequality and being represented in city positions. How are you planning to address this? As you know, especially top city positions as head of departments, there is big inequalities on this hiring. Even we're hiring people outside of the city. How are you planning to address this issue?
It's gonna come down to the intentionality that we have behind our hiring practice. Upon being successful in this campaign with the support of this community, give it just a second. I think upon being successful, hopefully with the support of this community, it is our intention that when we search for the right directors for the job, we will come up with a table that looks like Dearborn, that will help us in the review of resumes, help us find the candidates from within our community who will assume those jobs, and we'll do our best to make sure that the administration reflects the city that it serves and looks like the city that it serves.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you all so much for being here. I know it's cold, so we'll call it quits there. Thank you so much.
اكيد متابعينا نحن موجودين كنا في مدينه ديربون، بعدنا موجودين في مدينه ديربون وخصوصا في منطقه مدرسه سلينا في وست اند تبع ديربون. بيسكلي كنا ننقل لكم احداث المؤتمر الصحفي للنائب في ولايه، خليني ازحلكم انا وانتم بتصوروا على مهلتكم. يلا، في ولايه ميشيغن عبدالله حمود الذي اعلن ترشحه لمنصب العمدة المير لمدينه ديربون. كما ذكرنا لكم بعض الأشخاص أعلنوا ترشحهم بهذا المنصب، ومن بينهم عدد من الأشخاص الذين يعني نحن حطينا لهم الخبر اوريدي عنا على الصفحة. عبدالله إلى الآن هو المرشح الثالث الذي يعلن ترشحه رسميا. أكيد في كتير حكي إنه في حدا بده ينزل وحدا بده ينزل، بس رسميا إلى حد الآن هناك 3 أشخاص نزلوا على وأعلنوا ترشحهم لهذا المنصب. Mahdi, you want to say something? Come.
No.
Mahdi, why you're supporting Abdullah? Why you're standing here? Are you holding a sign or something?
Oh yeah, okay. Abdullah Hammoud for mayor.
Why?
Because I see myself in him.
Wallah.
Yeah, I see myself in him. He's a
in which sense?
The leadership qualities. Somebody that I would like to see. He shares qualities that I'd like all leaders to share and portray. And Abdullah is one of those guys that was not all talk. He was all show. He walked the walk. He said what he was going to do and he did it. You know, I wasn't too much into politics until Abdullah came in, and Abdullah showed me what it takes to be a true leader. And until otherwise, you know, he has my support.
Nice.
Until proven otherwise, he has my support. And until then, Abdullah has my support. And hopefully, you guys can hear from him on a personal level and have a conversation with him on a personal level. If you guys think otherwise or think that age is an issue, one of the biggest things I feel like people are going to bring up is, oh, his experience, he's young, he's this, he's that, but that's where the trend of everything is going. I feel like the younger generation is going to be the change.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not discrediting anybody else, I'm not discrediting anybody with, but that's my opinions, and my young opinions. And that's what I have.
Nice seeing you, okay. اكيد مثل ما كنا عم نقول لكم نحن موجودين في مدينه ديربون. النائب عبدالله حمود اعلن ترشحه لمنصب العمده في مدينه ديربون، ينضم الى لائحه الاسامي الاخرى التي اعلنت ترشحها، واللي هي كل من رئيسه المجلس البلدي سوزان دبيجة وعضو المجلس التربوي في المدينه حسين بري. الى حد الان هناك 3 عرب اعلنوا ترشحهم لهذا المنصب: سوزان دبيجة، حسين بري مع حفظ الالقاب اكيد، وعبدالله حمود. ونحن في انتظار لانه عم نسمع في اروقه السياسه عدد من الاشخاص الذين يعلنون ترشحهم لتلك المناصب. خلينا ناخذ كلمه من عبدالله. يعني سمعناك هونيك عبدالله عم تحكي عن بعض الشغلات اللي انت حابب تعملها، وانا سالتك بشكل واضح انه وانت ذكرتها انه كثير اشخاص لما واحد بده ينزل على الانتخابات بديربون دائما بيقولوا لك بدنا ننزل التاكسات، بدنا نحسن الخدمات يعني السيرفيسز تبع السيتي، يعني على طول نفس العناوين عم نسمعها. كيف فينا ناكد للعالم خصوصا الموجودين في مدينه ديربون انه عبدالله حمود هو غير هودي الاشخاص الثانيين؟ يعني انت how you gonna make sure هودي الشغلات رح تطبق؟
I think you look at the last 4 years of our history. Everything we've said we were going to go out and do, we've accomplished it to the best of our abilities. When it came down to bringing new resources to Dearborn, we brought over $12 million new dollars to Dearborn. When it came to pushing back against the pollution, we've pushed back against 2 permits. We made sure the local factories hire union workers, and we got the first city council environmental ordinance ever passed. That was an ordinance that we drafted out of our office and emailed to council. So we have the history and experience. What I'm asking residents is to ask the question, what have you done in the time that you have served? And we hope that we can show everything that we said we were going to do, we stood up and we did it.
طيب عبدالله، يعني في حكى بالكوميونتي تبعنا انه عبدالله حمود انت هلا موجود كنائب في ولايه ميشيغن، ليه ما بتطلع لاكثر؟ ليه ما بتروح لسناتور او كونغرس؟ لانه you have the abilities, you have the skills, you have the leadership to do that. Why did you decide ما بدي اقول downgrade, but why did you decide انه تاخذ يعني to run for mayor?
Yeah, in no way do I think this is a downgrade. If we look at the last year, no one could have predicted the COVID pandemic. And what we've seen is that local government is the most important. And as I've talked with my wife, with Fatma, and we said that this is where we want to grow our family, we have a lot of challenges that are facing the city. And I am afraid that if we do not tackle those challenges, our children will not want to raise their families here. And so we thought the place where we can be most impactful is right here in Dearborn at the helm of City Hall.
Nice. If there is one thing you really want to achieve as a Dearborn mayor, what would it be?
To improve the quality of life. And for each individual, that's measured differently. For some residents, that might be the improvement of air quality. For others, it might be a lowering of property taxes. For others, it's supporting small businesses to a greater degree. And for some, it's improving the public safety model that we have here in the city. And so it's our goal, hopefully, that through this campaign, we will show you through the policies that we outline how we want to improve the quality of life for all residents. Our decision making will be data driven. We will support it with the information that we have.
اكيد نحن we're gonna be بدنا نحكي معك ان شاء الله in the future
إن
more
شاء
and
الله.
more ومع الاكيد
إن شاء
candidates كثير. ف final words for you عبدالله، واكيد رح يكون لنا لقاء معك قريبا ان شاء الله.
My final word is I hope you check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Hammoud, MI. We hope you go to our website, votehammoud.com, to learn more. And it's our hopes, it's our sincere hopes, to earn your support, because it would be a privilege and an honor of a lifetime to serve as the city's next mayor. And we hope that we have not only shown what we have been able to accomplish over the last 4 years, but that the tenacity and conviction in which we work is unmatched by any other candidate that will be in this race. Thank you so much.
I'll see you. اكيد كان معنا المرشح حاليا عبدالله حمود لمنصب عمدة مدينة ديربون. نحن كنا بهيدي التغطية المباشرة لكم من مدينة ديربون، وخاصة من خارج مدرسة سلاينا في مدينة ديربون في غرب المدينة. فنلتقي نحن وإياكم. نحن مثل ما وعدناكم رح يكون لنا تغطية خاصة للانتخابات اللي عم بتصير. مثل ما تعودتوا علينا على طول نتابع الأحداث، وخصوصا الأحداث التي تهم الجاليات العربية المنتشرة في أمريكا. كما يعني قمنا بتغطية الانتخابات على الصعيد الأمريكي والانتخابات الرئاسية وانتخابات الكونغرس. أيضا سنغطي الانتخابات في المناطق اللي نحن موجودين فيها كمان. ومدينة ديربون نحن مركزنا في مدينة ديربون، فسوف يكون لنا تغطية خاصة بمدينة ديربون وبالانتخابات التي سوف تحصل، خصوصا فيما يتعلق بالمجلس البلدي وفي عمدة المدينة، وأيضا في مدينة ديربون هايس وما يحصل في مدينة ديربون هايتس حاليا. سوف يكون لنا اليوم حلقة خاصة مع الأستاذ خضر فرحات في الساعة 8:30 مساء بتوقيت ميشيغن للحديث عن ما يحصل في مدينة ديربون هايتس. وسوف يكون الضيوف عضو المجلس البلدي في مدينة ديربون هايتس عبدالله والناشط السياسي زهير عبد الحق، نتحدث عن المشاكل التي تحصل في المدينة وعدم القدرة على تعيين عضو بلدي ورئيس وعمدة للمدينة نظرا للصراعات التي تحصل في المدينة، على الرغم من أن المرشحين للمقعد البلدي هم عرب من أبناء الجالية العربية، فلماذا هذا الصراع ما بين الأبناء الجلد الواحد؟ كل هذه المواضيع وغيرها سوف نناقشها في حلقات مقبلة وتغطيات مباشرة من قناة العرب في أمريكا وقناة شو الأخبار. كان معكم حسين هاشم من مدينة ديربون، إلى أن نلتقيكم اليوم الساعة 6 مساء بتوقيت ميشيغن مع المحامي محمد الشرنوبي وحديث عن التجنيس واللجوء والهجرة وآخر المستجدات فيما يتعلق في هذا الموضوع. إلى اللقاء، شكرا لكم.